welcome back to my channel. Today I will be speaking to you about my top 10 advice nuggets, 10, not 5, top 10 advice nuggets for first time travelers. When I was a travel agent for 4 years, I would get asked this all the time. All of these top 10 ones are my most frequently asked. And these are people that are going on all different types of trips as well. So people doing like 3 months in Europe or doing like a week in Bali or a week in Spain or something like that. They're just the most general questions. So number 1 is using a travel agent. Is it worth it or is it not worth it? I'm not a travel agent anymore, so I'm not going to have as biased of a view as if you were to ask your own travel agent this question, because obviously they're going to say yes. I think some things make it worth it and some things don't. These people are professionals in booking travel for people that, you know, may just be starting out or don't really know what they're doing. So a lot of their advice is absolutely invaluable, and they do have some really good deals. Like if you get a travel agent that's been in the industry for a couple of years, it's absolutely like remarkable what they can do for you and the amount of money that they can save. So there's also this myth that travel agents are more expensive than booking it yourself online. I think you'll find that with a lot of travel agents, every single travel agency has like a price beat guarantee. So if you find something online that you like the look of, just bring it in and be like, I want it and I want it for this price, and then it'll be fine. It'll be like booking it online, except you're going through an agent. Also with booking with an agent, something that I find so invaluable is once you're already away, if something goes wrong or you need help or you've lost your baggage, like something happens that's completely out of your control, you have someone that you can email and then they'll fix it for you on the other end, instead of having to call the airline and, you know, worry about like a global SIM and the charges that you'll get from calling the airline and things like that. And like if something happens with your travel insurance and you need to make a claim, then you need to be on hold for ages to your travel insurance company figuring that out. Whereas if you just do it all through an agent, it's literally going to be the same price, if not cheaper than online. And you know, you got someone to sort your problems out for you. I know that sounds quite bad, but everyone needs a bit of support when they're away. So I would say when I was an agent, 50% of my daily job was helping customers that had already been away, like people that have missed flights or whatever it might be. Anyway, you get the gist. It's a win-win. So yes, I would say travel agent for sure. The second is SIM cards. What do I do about a SIM card when I go over? So I'll just tell you what I do. If I'm going somewhere for more than a week and a half, 2 weeks, I will get a local SIM card. I won't get one from the airport because they're going to be really expensive, because they know that you're a tourist, you don't know how much things cost. So they'll just charge you like completely out the butt for SIM cards at the airport. So I wait until I'm in town, until I'm there for maybe like a day or so. When I went to India, the Wi-Fi was absolutely awful, so I couldn't really get by on the Wi-Fi alone. Also, like going around a new country on your own, if you're doing solo travel instead of group tour travel, it's absolutely mandatory to get a SIM card with internet on it. Like, how are you gonna know when to get off the train? Like, the people that speak on the train, they speak so fast and they speak in Hindi or whatever the language is of the country that you're in. It's just like absolute, not even a question. Like, you need a SIM card. A lot of carriers will allow you to do roaming. Like I know Vodafone has a $5 a day global roaming SIM or something like that. I don't know. Do your research into what your current provider offers. Make sure that your phone is unlocked. You don't want to get there, not know how to get like to your hotel from the airport and find out that your phone's locked to your network. Yeah, just get a local SIM. Data's all you need. You don't really need calling. So yeah, just get a local SIM. Visas. Number 3, visas. Obviously with this, every passport is different. So I know that this audience could Some people could be from the UK, some from Australia, some from South Africa, like wherever, you know. So I can't really advise on that, but there is a website that I used to use as a travel agent. It was super duper easy. You put in your nationality, like your passport, and what state you're from and where you're going, and it will tell you yes, you do need a visa, or no, you don't. And if you do need a visa, it will tell you the requirement. Website is visasdirect.com. So it could be .com.au or .co.uk. Anyway, I'll put that in the description box down below. I found that website so invaluable. I'm still using it even though I'm not a travel agent anymore. It's really, really helpful, and they keep up to date with all the different visa requirements and stuff because it just changes so often. Just get all your bases covered, use that website. Number 4, the language. How much of the language do you need to know? Okay, so obviously this is different, like depending on how long your trip is, if you're going solo, if you're not, where you're going as well. Like if you're going to Europe and you're going to like mainland Europe on a contiki tour or something like that, for example, it's nice to know the language. It's nice to just know like hello, thank you, yes, no. I find that the locals treat you with a lot more respect if they know that you're at least giving it a go, trying to speak their language a little bit, even if you muck it up. You don't have to be perfect. Your accent doesn't have to be spot on. I've just found that in my experience with traveling, if you give it a go, it's a lot. Yeah, they treat you a lot nicer, and also it helps you feel like you're actually there. Like I noticed with India, I felt a little bit silly being like namaste, and I don't know why. I feel like maybe it's been put into my head that that's like not okay. It's like cultural appropriation being like in the UK or whatever, being like namaste, or like you have to be some yoga god or something to be able to do that. But when I was there, everyone was like namaste, namaste, and it wasn't until the end that I allowed myself to start doing that, and it really helped my experience. Made me feel like I was in India. It gave me that like real cultural aspect of it. I know it sounds silly because it's just putting your hands together and saying namaste, but you know, it's part of their culture, and it's immersing yourself in that I don't know, it makes a big difference. So so if you're only going for a little while, I wouldn't worry too much about learning the language. Knowing the basics is really, really good. But for example, if you're going somewhere like South America for like a few months, 3 months to 6 months, maybe even a year, I would do some Spanish lessons before you go. If you're going for that long of a time, you're obviously going to be in places where English is not that well known. So I would recommend, for ease of your trip and your own sanity, to invest in some language lessons. Okay, number 5, currency. What do I do with my money? How do I take my money overseas? So if you ask your travel agent this, they will tell you to get the card that they are affiliated with their travel agency. So I know that with Flight Centre it's Cash Passport, STA it's Cash Flex or something like that. I'm not saying that those are bad, just in my experience they haven't got the best rates. Neither do any of like the normal banks. So what I would recommend for bringing your currency overseas is to get a Monzo card or a Revolut card, or one of those cards that is like an independent online bank. They tend to have the best exchange rates. I got a Monzo card about 10 months ago, and it's honestly like it's changed my life. There's no fees on it whatsoever. Like you can just tap it, and it tells you, like it will tell you on your phone how much you've spent on the day out of your budget. You can like make little pods and stuff for how much money you want to spend, and then when you land in a new country, it will figure out that you're in a new country, and it will send you a notification saying, welcome to Australia. £100 here will get you 170 Australian dollars, for example. So it will help you kind of keep on track of your spending. So I would recommend getting a Monzo or a Revolut card or one of those online banks for sure. Number 6, backpack versus suitcase. If I had $1 for every time someone asked me, should I bring a backpack or should I have a suitcase, I would be a rich lady. It comes down to personal preference, but it also comes down to trip style. So if you're going to a resort for a week and you're just gonna chill, just take a suitcase, don't worry about it. If you're hopping from city to city on a short amount of time and there's lots of walking, I would recommend a backpack. Going from place to place, having your arms free and having it on your back is just a godsend. Like, I've never looked back from having a backpack. But having said that, I've done little European weekend trips and brought a suitcase. Like, I'm not going to bring my big 70-litre backpack if I'm going to Prague for a weekend. Do you know what I mean? Come down to personal preference, but for me, it's a backpack all the way. Number seven, a tour versus solo travel. Which one is better and which one has more like a bang for your buck? Again, if I had $1 for every time I was asked this, honestly, this again, unfortunately, comes down to personal preference, how much of a independent person you are and how resilient you are. I would say if you suffer from something like anxiety, I would definitely recommend a tour over solo travel. Solo travel can be quite stressful, though the experience itself can be better, but it depends on you. So if I'm going somewhere on my own and I know it's quite tricky to get around and I just haven't really got the time or the patience to, you know, to map out my trains and where I'm going and then I will just do a tour. A lot of the time the tours are cheaper if you get them when a sale's on or something. Solo travel is fantastic. It's so the way to go if you're an experienced traveler, but you know, having that amazing like freedom with how you're going to spend your time, where you're going to go, what you're going to do, that comes with its downsides as well. So that comes with being stressed and like having to read a bus timetable that's in Chinese and you have no idea what it says. And then, you know, if you're quite resilient and you're quite independent and calm, I would say, yeah, go for it. Go for the solo travel. Just make sure you have a travel agent to help you plan everything out, obviously. Again, if it's like your first time or you're a little bit worried about the country that you're going and you've just got questions going in your head, or maybe you're like an overthinker, I'd recommend a tour. Tours are really good, honestly. I've done about like 9 tours now. They're really, really good, especially if you're traveling on your own. You're always grouped, as long as you read into the tour company. Generally, you're always grouped with people the same age as you. So straight off the bat, you've got like 10 to 15 new friends and you're just having a whale of a time the entire time that you're away. Some companies are party and some companies are culture, and then some are like in between. So I'll do another video on that. Tour versus solo, it comes down to you. Just, you know, be honest with yourself. Don't rush into a decision. I haven't felt ready until maybe a few years ago. I haven't felt ready and completely confident that I could do solo travel. And this means solo like on your own, not like going with a friend, like on your own. I haven't felt completely comfortable with that until a few years ago, and I've been traveling for a really long time. So it very much depends on the person. Just listen to yourself, do some research, and just, you know, see what you think. But the tour is definitely the safe bet. Okay, number 8, we have hotel versus hostel. A hotel, obviously, the major difference here is your budget. If you can afford a hotel and you can afford your own room, go for it. If it's you and your friend going away, and you know you're gonna have friends, you don't need to worry about that, go for it. Go for the hotel. If you're traveling on your own and you've got a small budget and you want to make friends along the way, definitely do a hostel. I have no problems with sleeping in a hostel. as long as it's a good one. Make sure that you look up the reviews and stuff like that. Make sure you have your own little locker in your room so that you can keep your valuables, like your passport, your money, whatever. I have no problems with hostels. They're all, like, in my experience, they're all so clean, so good. Like, at the very worst, you'll have to make your own bed when you get there, but honestly, it's a really easy way to make new friends, and the hostels normally always have events happening each night. So I went to one in Portugal, in Lisbon recently, and they had a pub crawl on a Thursday night, and then on Friday they had a chef come in and make everyone dinner, and then you get unlimited sangria. And Saturday they have karaoke in the main hall and stuff like that. So it is really easy to meet like-minded travelers that way. But if you're after comfort and if you're after space and you just want somewhere quiet to go to sleep and have a shower and be a little bit lax after your big day walking around, then go for a hotel, definitely. Number 9, airlines. Which airlines are the best? Again, this depends on where you are going. Different airlines fly to different places, but if we're talking long haul, the top 5, or I think the top 5 are Qatar, Emirates, Etihad, Singapore Airlines, and is it Qantas? I don't know. Anyway, there's another one that's like muy bien. A lot of people are really concerned about the airline and where they're going to see it, and they're, you know, worried about it, but I just want to get one thing straight. Every single airline has to pass a series of safety tests before being an airline, before being allowed to actually take off into the sky. So there are not any airlines that are safer than others, nothing like that. All that people gauge of the safety of an airline is how many accidents they've had in the last 10 years or so. Do you understand what I mean? So I have no problem flying any airline than the rest. The only difference is going to be obviously the price, maybe the quality of the plane. Some airlines have more new planes and some airlines have older, like an older fleet that they've been using for a long time, which also goes hand in hand with the entertainment, you know, how nice and cushy the seats are, if your tray table's rickety or if it's not, if you've got a touch screen TV in front of you, or I mean, some might even not have TVs, but I don't know. If you're worried about the airline that you're choosing, I use the website Skytrax. That's tracks with an X at the end. Super cool, play on words. Yeah, so I use Skytrax there. That is a platform that people can go on and review the airlines. I know that Qatar won Best Airline in the World. It was either last year or the year before. Yes, anyway, that doesn't matter. And they were voted Best Airline in the World on Skytrax. So Skytrax is really, really reliable. So you can have a little read through there and yeah, help get some clarity on whether you've made the right decision or not, or whether you want to swap airlines, whatever. Okay, and number 10, we're at the end of the video. Number 10, how much money do I have to take with me? How much money am I going to spend when I'm in Europe on 3 weeks? Well, I don't know, Sally. That depends how much money you spend. Literally, it's such a hard question to answer. I like to put it this way. If you're going on a night out with your friends, for example, you can have the best night of your life and spend $10 or £10. Or you can have an average night and spend £300. It all depends on you. Again, it depends on how much you've planned before you go. That's why I recommend obviously using an agent, so that you have everything planned before you go, so then when you go, you know that what you have saved is spending money. You're not going to have to fork out for this hotel here and this flight here because you didn't plan it beforehand. So you'll have a better, more structured view of your own budget if everything's planned in advance. But honestly, I can't tell you how much you're going to spend on your holiday. Only you know that. Tour companies like Kentucky EG Adventures, Busabout, whatever, they recommend, is it €50 a day? 50 to 100 depending on you. To give you an example, another example, I did a 45-day Kentucky trip of Europe back in 2011 or 12. It's getting dusty in here, guys. I had a lot of money stolen from me 10 days before the tour started. Obviously I couldn't cancel my tour because I would have lost all the money. It was like $6,000 or something. So I went on this 45-day tour with $600, with £600 in my pocket, 45 days. Are you joking me? Then I got on the tour, and as we all got to know each other, it turns out there was a girl on the tour who had 32,000 Australian dollars with her to spend on this 6-week trip. So that just goes to show that it is up to you. Your budget is your budget. What you spend is up to you. Some people like to go to Italy and go buy some Versace, and some people don't care about that, and some people just want to have a beer, or some people just want to have a pizza. So it's very dependent on you, and there's no other advice I can give on that, unfortunately. It's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for sticking around. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer, or any advice that you'd like me to give, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to make another video on this. If you're planning to go somewhere, let me know down below. I always love to hear about people's travel plans, so I can live vicariously through you until I plan my own next trip. But yeah, thank you so much. Have a really lovely day. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm a new YouTuber, so it's really important to me to know that people are watching my stuff and that it's valuable to you. But yeah, thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.